Hi, everybody. This is Miss Mary Jo from Eisenhower Public Library. I'd like to show you how to make an elf hat. If you got one of these kits from the library, what is included is a polar fleece square, which will make a good hat because it does stretch for your head and will sew together two sides of it, leaving the stretchy part open at the bottom for your head. And then after we sew the two sides together, we'll attach a bell. I also will show you an option where we can, instead of sewing, we could cut fringe here. I'll show you it briefly after we do the sewing. I thought that would be easier for younger kids, but it actually is harder because you have to cut the fringe pretty small and then you have to tie them together, which requires a lot of fine motor skills. So the hat would come out looking like this if you did the fringe, and you can look at the written instructions if you do want to try the fringe project instead of sewing. Okay, so let's see. The kit includes a piece of polar fleece, and what else do we have here? The ruler you will need to do the fringe method, but not so much for the sewing. And I gave you more yarn than you will need just to be safe. We have 3 bells for attaching to the hat after we sew or fringe. And I did thread the yarn that you will start to sew with first because I didn't want you to have to spend time getting this thick yarn through this small needle. The needles are pointy enough to get through the fabric, but not so pointy where they're going to hurt, where kids can hurt themselves very easily. So you'd kind of have to try to poke yourself or to poke somebody else. You're not likely to get hurt with this kind of needle. It's not that sharp. But let me show you how to thread the needle, just in case you have to do that soon after we start the project. I gave you a slip of paper like this. Any slip of paper will do if you don't have a metal needle threader, which is a handy tool. You can feed your paper through and make a loop, and that way the fat yarn can go into the paper, and if I pull the paper and the yarn through the eye of the needle, it will stay and I can put the paper aside. So I hope that's a good trick for you to thread your needle while we're sewing. This is especially tricky if you're not used to sewing. You're going to need to pinch this tail. You're going to need to leave a tail, and you're going to have to keep pinching it so that you don't pull your yarn through or pull where this gets too close and then the needle pops off. That will be frustrating. If you're sewing with young children, a good way to teach them is to double the yarn and to make a knot at the bottom. But with this thick fabric, it's going to make it too hard to pull through. So you can do that if you like, but I think you're going to have a harder time sewing. So that's everything that's in here. You'll need a scissors and a pencil and a ruler if you're going to do the fringe method, but let's start with the sew method. Kids will need help either way. The fringe method was harder than I thought, so I'm going to show the sewing first. I think young kids can do this if they have help. Oh, I forgot to say, it's very important to notice which side of the polar fleece is stretchy, because this is where your head will be in the hat, down here. And we're going to sew two sides together to make a triangle hat where only the head part is open and everything else is closed, right? So keep in mind that that stretchy part maybe should be facing you toward your belly, and just be aware that that's the part we're not going to sew on. So I'm going to fold my two edges and I'm going to line them up as best I can while I make a point at the top of the hat. That's where we're going to attach the bells eventually. So you can see this isn't cut very precisely, but don't worry about it being pretty or exact, because when we're done sewing, we can turn it inside out, and that does hide a lot of a lot of errors. So as long as you do your best to make your stitches even and kind of the same length or distance from each other, will be okay. So you'll take your needle. I think we should start at the top. And the reason we're going to start at the top and sew downward is because if you're making a hat for a big child, this might be the perfect size. It's pretty stretchy. It fits me. But if you're making a hat for a very small child, we're going to maybe sew to about 3/4 of the way. And then you might want to make a brim to make that hat fit better. You probably want to try it on before we get all the way down sewing. And you could roll it, which might make a nice look. And you, of course, you can cut polar fleece. The nice thing about polar fleece is it won't fray. So you can cut to make a smaller hat. So once we get to that point, we can talk about that. But to start sewing, if you haven't sewed before, we're going to put a needle through. If you want to hide your stitch, just go through 1 layer, not 2. That way your stitch is on the inside. But remember, we might turn our hat inside out, so that might not actually be hidden. Okay, and I'm leaving a tail, and I'm gonna, eventually I'm gonna tie that tail into some other stitches to secure it. But for now, I'm gonna pinch that so I don't pull my yarn all the way through. So we're gonna do a running stitch, which is simply down through both layers and pull, but remember, don't pull your yarn through. And then I want to go about the same distance and up through both layers, and don't pull it out, and don't lose your tail. So I'm just going down and pull. Oops. The fabric's kind of thick, so some people had more success thinking of it as putting the needle through the top layer and then the bottom layer. You can try that, because when I try to pull it through both, it is a little bit difficult, as you can see. So this is called a running stitch, and I'm trying to make them kind of evenly paced, but again, don't worry about it. Let your kids try. It's supposed to be fun. It doesn't have to be precise. So that's a running stitch, and we're going to go all the way down until about 3/4 of the way, and then we're going to try the hat on the child and decide about the brim or trimming before we sew all the way to the bottom. So let me show you a few that I did earlier, just so you can get a sense of it. This one I did with a running stitch, same as what we just did. And the written instructions have instructions for this other kind of stitch. I forget what it's called. Let's see. It is called a whip stitch, right? So if you want to try this stitch, I'll keep going on this hat that I just started with you. A whip stitch means that you drop over the edge, not down into the fabric, over the edge and up through the bottom and pull, and then over the edge and up through from the bottom. So you can see that makes, and you always want to pull so that the thread is flat, but you don't want it to bunch up, because if it bunches up, your hat's going to look funny, but you do want it to lay flat. So if you'd rather use a whip stitch, this might be a method. You could have your child try both, just for practice and for fun. It really won't matter once we turn the hat inside out. I'll show you in a minute. So this would be the whip stitch over the edge. Okay. I guess it's a little bit harder to lay them flat. So you can do one or the other. Now, once we get down to 3/4, and we'll try the hat on the child and see how that works. But let me show you what it looks like. If your stitches are not very attractive, you might decide that you want to turn your hat inside out. And as you can see, your stitches will be hidden, what you'll have is kind of a straight seam, just like you have on your clothes, because the stitching is on the inside. And this will be your hat. So if I have a very young child, I'm gonna try it on them now. And I might decide to only go this far with my stitches. When we get to the end of wherever we decide to stop, let me show you how we'll tie our knots off. You'll eventually make a tail at the bottom when you finish sewing, just like you have a tail up here. And the reason I didn't do anything with this before is because the best way to secure it is to tuck it under your first stitch and make a knot. And we always want to make a double knot because that holds much better. So I'm making another knot on top of the first knot. And now if I tighten that, it would be very difficult for that to come loose. And you can always trim your tails. You would trim this one and you would tie off down at the bottom of where you sew and turn it inside out, and you will have an elf hat. But for the finishing touch, we will want to attach bells to the top. So I'm going to turn this inside out, tuck in my seam if it needs tucking, pretend like this is finished, and let's see, 3 bells. So I would take my first bell. Whoops, I keep forgetting to keep that. Remember, this is where your head's going. That's why it's facing you. Okay. So I'm gonna do 1 bell, and I could start sewing onto the top of the hat and then do the other bells, but a mom taught me this great trick, which is to sew all the bells before you actually attach to the hat. So I'm gonna just made a little length so that they're gonna jingle. If you sew them really tight together, they won't make such a nice sound. So I'm gonna sew another bell on, but I'm gonna leave a little bit of length. You can really do this any way you like, depending on the sound. Actually, that's kind of hard to tie. So I'm gonna show you now how I would attach it up here. So I'm gonna hide my yarn in the seam, and now the bells are attached. And if you're sewing them one at a time, which is fine, just give it another stitch to secure it and tie on your other bells. And you could tie it, you can pull it really tight, which makes less noise, or you can leave it a little bit loose. And maybe give it another stitch so they're very secure. Oh, it's hard through all these layers, sorry. Struggle, struggle. Jingle, jingle. And then you would cut your tail and you could tie your 2 tails together. And don't forget to always double knot, and that will not come undone. So now you have a jangly top to your elf hat. And lastly, I want to show you how I did the fringe. This is what the fringe would look like when you're finished. Again, the stretchy part of the hat is kept open, and I attached these 2 sides, but instead of sewing, I made the fringe. If you don't like how the fringe looks in the end, you could, of course, turn your hat inside out, and it gives it this braided look, but They do come untucked, so I'm not sure that this is better than sewing. But if you want it inside out or right side in, then you would attach your bells to the top and have your completed elf hat. And the way that I made the fringe, I can show you by taking some of it apart. I used the ruler and I went up this whole side about an inch in from the edge. So the edge of the fabric, of course, was longer. So I went about actually 2 inches in and drew dots all the way up the hat. And then I took a scissors and I cut fringe. First I cut wide fringe, about 1 inch wide. So I used the ruler as I cut this way. And then to make the fringe small enough to tie to itself, I went in between. Each piece of fringe became 2. So I cut in between on the 1/2 inch marks approximately. As you can see, they're not precise, but they are narrow enough to tie together. So then, just like we started sewing from the top, I would start tying from the top so that when we get toward the bottom, we can size the hat on the child and decide if we want to cut or have a brim or a roll to make it fit better. So always start tying from the top, just like we sewed from the top, but I'm going to show you just because I don't want to take the time to undo everything. I decided this was even harder than sewing for little kids, but you would need to take the first 2 and tie them together and pull kind of tight and push them aside, because then you need to find the next 2 pieces of fringe, 1 from each side, and tie them together and push them aside so that you can find the next 2 and tie them together and push them aside and find the next 2, and so on and so on. But it is a bit challenging to make sure you don't skip any, and they are loose, except once I finished not tying knots all the way down the hat, I did go back and double knotted each one. So that way they were more secure. I'm not sure though how they would stay in the washing machine. If you're going to wash the sewn hat or the knotted hat, I would maybe put them inside of a net bag in the washing machine and probably not put them in the dryer. So that is how I made these elf hats, and I hope you enjoy them and wear them and have a jolly December holiday season. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks for coming. See you at the library.